God.
He goes, no.
He's hiding right behind you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I think we're all here at 6:01. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent reflection. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Lobodzinski, roll call, please.
Yes. Mrs. Smith-Gomez.
Here.
Mr. Kuba.
Here.
Mrs. Ballard.
Present.
Mr. Kroll.
Here.
Mr. Garcia.
Here.
The record show all are present and accounted for.
Thank you very much. That'll take us to public participation at board meetings. Nothing listed. Thank you. We'll entertain a discussion on the minutes.
Motion to approve, Mr. President, the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Kuba.
Support.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Correspondence, please.
None at this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. Well, if you have a superintendent's report then.
Yeah, and really, it's not very long since we just really got started this year. I do want to just thank everyone for all their work this summer, getting our schools prepared. Typically, it's our custodial staffs and technology staff, those people that work all summer and really work hard to get our schools ready. So thank you. Thanks to all those that are helped us this last week and in the beginning of this week off to a good start. 4 or 5 days of school in. I think everyone's getting into the flow. And I think after tonight we'll be totally staffed, completely staffed and in good shape, other than a couple of spots for some special needs positions, but we're working really hard to get those filled. And they're covered, they're just not totally filled with long-term people at this point in time. So we're very comfortable there. So to start the year, you know, we had a situation with band, but I think after tonight we're in great shape there too. So I do want to thank Dr. Erdelak for covering for me last month. Thank you. You know that I know it was a short meeting. Maybe I need to be gone more often if they're going to be that short. So, but I appreciate it. You know, I had death of the family and had to be there. So first one I missed in 16 years. And I went back and I did that because at North Newton we used to have them every other week. So I've been 241 meetings, and that's not special meetings. 241 meetings and never missed a meeting. So it was weird not having to go to a meeting. And just I want to wish everyone a successful school year. And thank you for all the work you're going to put in, you know, ahead of time. And come out Friday night for our first football game. That is going to be at Griffith for you know, one of our big rivals playing Friday night.
Great, with their former coach.
Yeah. It's going to be Mr. Coach Gifford and playing where he coached and went to school. He was a state champion at Griffith. So.
Is that tailgate too, or did I miss it already?
Tailgate is
Thursday.
Thursday.
It's
Yeah,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, it got rained out last week.
That's what I thought, but I couldn't remember when it got rescheduled for.
Yeah.
Thank you. That'll take us to board reports. Ms. Gomez.
Yes, I attended the NISEC meeting last Wednesday, August 14th. Basically, we adopted some new bylaws and policies that we had gone over last time. I think I talked about them last time. Eagle Park is going to do 2 fundraisers this year, a school walkathon on October 3rd and 4th, and the apples for students through Strack and Van Til grocery stores. If anyone is interested in handing over receipts for that, please let them know. And there is a NISEC General Ed Admin training on Thursday, September 5th from 9:30 to 11:30. It's required for all new admins, guidance counselors, and deans new to NISEC, member corporations who will be attending special education conferences for Highland. If you need more information on that, let me know. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kuba.
Nothing to report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Ms. Ballard.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Mr. Kroll.
Yes, from a redevelopment perspective, we'll talk about them first. Redevelopment purchased a building on North Kennedy Avenue. It is, I don't know the address, but it's the last building on the west side of Kennedy Avenue across the street from Public Works Department. They have some plans for that, one of which is going to be the new dog kennel for the strays that they capture. So they're going to convert that into that. They also approved last night a contract with an engineering firm to do some sampling of a proposed project. Once they reach that point where they can move forward again on North Kennedy Avenue. That's specifically the area between the post office, or around where the town theater was. So that area there. And there have been some discussions pairing together with the Parks Department around some decorative fencing that's being proposed and discussed around Main Square. So that's that. Oh, and I think we've talked about Christmas decorations. New Christmas decorations have been ordered. So Christmas will be here before we know it. Size extra large t-shirts for those listening at home or on the board. Prefer coffee. So yeah, we'll see those when the holidays arrive. From a Parks Department perspective, we lost our seasonal help. So those guys are starting to ramp up a lot of work that they have. Again, a lot going on. They had some successful, the Parks Department helps out really with the vast majority of anything that you see in Highland. So whether it's the restaurant crawl, the Parks Department is really involved in setting that up, blocking the streets, bringing the tables. They're involved with setting up for the corn roast. They had the play that went on over there. So the Parks Department is very active with doing so many things besides just cutting grass. But that too, it happens and weeds grow, as we found out. So they're doing all that they can. With that, nothing recently outside of the ordinary has been voted on with there. They are, just from a parks perspective, broke ground on the pickleball courts that are going to be put in Meadows Park, and they started replacing the tennis courts at Brentwood that were in desperate need. It is not the firm that attempted and reattempted to put in our tennis courts. So, other than that, no, nothing further.
Thank you. I attended the Highland Griffith Chamber meeting last Tuesday. Congressman McVan was the guest speaker, kind of hit some highlights on federal dollars that have come back into the Griffith Highland area, really focused also on some of the work that was done on the South Shoreline. It was a nice discussion over at Byway Brewing with a really great meal. And then on the ISBA side, everybody's getting updates from that. We should be getting what would that be, the fall meeting in Teeples should be coming out soon. For this side of the room, I don't think we have me listed as a delegate with ISBA, which needs to be done before the conference in September, so just need to verify we get that added in. That's all I have, so that'll take us to financials. Ms. Adams.
Hi, how is everybody?
Good.
Well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Letter A is the treasurer report. A copy of that report was included in your board packet. I'm requesting approval of the report as presented.
Mr. President?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Kroll.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Vouchers, please.
A copy of the voucher docket was also included in your board packet. I recommend that you approve that as well.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I'll support it.
Thank you, Mr. Kuva. Or backwards.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez, with support from Mr. Kuva. Any discussion?
This year.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bless you. That takes us to permission to advertise the 2025 budget, CPF plan, and bus replacement plan.
We are required to adopt the 2025 corporation budgets. This includes the education, operations, and debt service funds. These budgets are advertised on the Form 3 on the DLGF's website called Gateway. 10 days prior to the public hearing. The capital projects and bus replacement plans must be posted on our website at least 10 days prior to that public hearing. We are requesting permission to advertise on Gateway and to post it to our official website. The public hearing for the annual budget, the CPF plan, and the bus replacement plan will be held on September 17th, 2024. And the 2025 annual corporation budget, the capital projects and bus replacement plans, along with the associated resolutions, will be adopted at the October 15th board meeting.
Thank you.
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kuba.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Donations, please.
Okay, Warren received a donation for Challenger Learning, from Challenger Learning Center in the amount of $550 invoice credit for the 5th grade field trip. Southridge received donation from the Highland Soccer Club. They're donating 2 soccer nets with a $600 value, and that's going to go into the Southridge playground area. The rest of the donations are for the high school. We have Highland Athletic Boosters, $750 for the Boys General Fund. Reith Riley Construction, $250 for Boys Cross Country. And Suncoast Lake Terminal, $300 for Boys Baseball. I request your approval to accept those donations.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kroll.
I'll support the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Move
opposed?
too fast.
Motion carries. If you'd like to say something at this time, feel free.
As always, make sure you thank all the different organizations for such generous donations.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Ballard. School bus purchases.
Our transportation manager, Mr. Dominic Needless, participated in the statewide bus bid. We are scheduled to replace 2 Type A multifunction school activity buses and 1 Type C school bus. He is recommending that we purchase all 3 buses from Midwest Transit. The 2 Type A buses will cost $241,520, less a trade-in value of $1,500 each for activity buses number 26 and 27, for a net purchase of $238,520. The Type C bus will cost $165,397, less the trade-in of $1,500, for a net purchase of $163,897. This purchase will be funded through the general obligation bond of 2022. The administration concurs with his recommendation and requests your approval.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of buses.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez.
I'll support.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Any discussion?
Moving too slow tonight, I gotta be quicker.
If I may, Mr. President. So just worth noting, well, first off, what exactly is a Type A bus versus a Type C bus?
I think the Type C buses are those little activity buses,
So the
and the
short
Type
bus.
A is a great big long one.
Okay.
That's why I just, $163,000 for a bus, it's crazy. The price has increased so much. What,
So I'm
you
sorry,
have
Type
4
A
years?
is the shorter one? The longer one. Okay, Type C is the shorter one.
Right, yeah.
So 163, almost $164,000. Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
and nothing for a trade-in, $1,500.
Oh, wow.
Well, and that was just an observation, right? The bus replacement, oh, okay, thank you. The bus replacement plan, these have to last us 12 years. I just think that's amazing. So kudos to our staff and our bus barn that make sure our buses last at least 12 years.
And they have to go through 2 inspections a year. The state police come in twice a year and inspect every one of our buses. They have to pass those inspections, so.
They're very particular. There
Very
cannot be a
particular.
little tiny rip in the seat or anything.
So William, where, after this purchase, where will that put us in terms of our whole fleet? I guess, how many buses are coming to, how close are we to more buses coming to the end of their useful life?
When we talked to Dominic, correct me if I'm wrong, Cindy, but when we talked to Dominic, I think he said after this rotation, the third one, we'll be back to just having to get 2 a year.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll be discussed when we do our bus replacement plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how that gets determined.
And I don't know that I ever knew, but just out of curiosity, how many buses do we have in our fleet total?
I want to say about 30.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
29 or 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
The budget workbook's got the replacement plan. in
Yeah.
it. So it's, I think like the second or third page on the tab, so.
Okay.
It'll show you what year we have to replace each one.
Which we'll be talking about next week.
One more quick question for you, Sam. So traditionally, we've used the transportation fund, but that no longer.
It doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist anymore, that's what I thought.
Right, and
So-
CPF, transportation, and bus replacement plan all got rolled up into the operations fund. And part of the general fund expenditures also went into operations fund. That's why each year when you approve the budget, you approve a resolution that I can, because all the revenue that the state gives us has to be deposited in the education fund. We are allowed to move up to 15% of that total revenue to our operations fund. And now with these increased costs, it's continually hard to keep up. That's why we're recommending that we use the GL bond for that purchase rather than the operations fund.
Thank you for that.
So these were the type A, we got 1,500, right? So 12 years, at the end of 12 years, we get $1,500, correct?
Yeah.
So basically, it's costing us roughly between 10 and 12,000 every year for each of our buses at this point with the current price. Because we're not, right, if we divide it equally, obviously we depreciate, but that's how much it's costing per bus to provide transportation. Roughly 10,000 every bus.
And we have 28.
So that's 280,000, right? Am I doing that math roughly?
It's expensive to bus
Just-
kids around.
That's just the bus.
That's
not
not
the
fuel, that's-
No,
yeah.
not insurance, not maintenance, not.
Not drivers or
nothing,
aides.
Right, yeah, a lot of money.
It's very expensive to, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Any further discussion?
I might buy one for 1,500.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Special Services, Buildings and Grounds.
A copy of the Buildings and Grounds report was included in your board packet. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Mr. President, may I?
Please.
So I was reminded of something over the past week. Dr. Smith, please make sure I say this correctly.
Sure.
As grass grows and weeds grow
Yeah.
and fields need to be maintained, right? We have one
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, one guy to help.
One guy. And that guy's responsibility is to mow everything.
Yeah, lots of different buildings and grounds things. He'll be out helping get rid of getting our fields ready. Now that we have turf, it's not on the football field as much, but other areas, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, sometimes our custodial foreman will do some mowing if they can, but depending on, it's,
No.
yeah, so.
That's it.
Mhm. Yeah, lot of coverage.
Yeah, thanks.
Anything else on Buildings and Grounds? Hearing none, we'll just move on to emergency repair of Cady Marsh ditch.
Okay. The Cady Marsh ditch, directly behind the bus and the maintenance barns, was caving in. If it was left unattended, the bank will collapse. The Lake County Drainage Board agreed to share in the cost of this repair and conducted the bid. The lowest bidder was Delta 3 in the total amount of $73,335. The Lake County Drainage Board will pay for the portion for the stream bank stabilization. Then Mr. Mike Sutka, Director of Buildings and Grounds, is requesting permission to enter into an agreement with Delta 3 for our share of the expenses in the amount of $39,759 and that covers the storm sewer and the asphalt repair located on the northwest fence. So that's basically on our property that we have to repair, and then they repair the ditch portion. If approved, this project would be funded out of the general obligation bond in 2022.
Mr. President?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kroll.
Support, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kuba. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yep.
Mr. Smith, do we know how long this repair will last? Do we anticipate having to do it again in the near future?
Yeah, I asked for an estimation and they were telling me at least a decade. So, yeah, hopefully, they've put all the stone in there. They've actually planted some trees because that will hold the soils together as well there in that area. They built the stone up and all the way down the bank, so, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, is there a reason it needs to be there? We can't backfill it, sewer lines? Have they looked at other alternatives to repairing it every 10 years or so? Do you know?
It may not even need it every 10 years, but it just, your banks are gonna unfortunately erode. And that's where our bus barn happens to be.
Right.
Short of us moving, finding other areas for it,
Sure.
unfortunately.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That will take us to letter of engagement for architect services.
Okay, we're recommending you accept the letter of engagement from Schmidt Associates to provide professional architectural and engineering services for the projects associated with the general obligation bond of 2023. For a base cost of $186,761 plus reimbursable fees such as mileage, printing, design approval, permitting costs, and building code consulting. The contract will be paid from the GO bond of 2023.
Mr. President, I make a move to approve the letter of engagement for architectural services as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Letter of engagement for construction services.
We recommend that the board accept the letter of engagement from the Skillman Corporation in the amount of $185,150 to manage the construction projects planned in the GO bond of 2023 projects.
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kuga. Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Any discussion? Quick question from me.
Yes, sir.
So I've had some parents ask what we're doing with the senior parking spots that were painted as a fundraiser with, I believe, the Booster Club. And if we were repainting that, my assumption is the parking lot's getting repaved, and that's why that fundraiser was allowed. I just want to make sure we're clarifying, because I think we have a lot of rising seniors in coming years that are going to expect the same thing, and that will not likely be an allowed activity.
Yeah, I would have to check, because some of the paving wasn't for the entire parking lot. There were sections of it that they were going to be able to do, and so I'm not even sure how long till they get to that section. So it may be a year to year. We check on it each year, but yeah, we certainly can look.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. I'll take us to curriculum. Dr. Erdelet.
Good evening. The first grant for approval is the 2024-26 Title III grant. This school town of Highland received $11,960 towards Title III. Title III grants are federal dollars that provide funding to districts to help improve their services for English language learners. A couple years ago, we joined the VIII, which is Wabash Valley Education Center. It's a consortium where we utilize their services for professional development, in person, virtual. They have networking groups and set up conferences and have a lot of support specialists. We are choosing to continue with that consortium, so I ask the board to approve this grant as proposed.
Thank you.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kroll. Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Paraprofessional training grant.
So this is thanks to Dr. Rebecca Harkema, NYSEC's curriculum specialist. She wrote, for everybody that's in the NYSEC co-op. She wrote a grant that helps secure $18,011.46 that we're going to be used towards special education paraprofessional training for the 2024-25 school year. I think it's a great plan for the fact that we have a lot of paraprofessionals that turn over within the year. So to have money set aside to help train those fantastic resources to help our kids that have special needs is a great plan, and definitely appreciate her putting the effort towards that grant. So I ask the board to approve this grant as submitted.
Thank you.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez. Any discussion? You're fast this time.
I know. Dr. Smith, Dr. Erlach, just want to say kudos to you and your staff for always doing the work to get these grants. I know it's a lot of, administrative labor, probably a lot of hoops you gotta jump through to, just for $18,000, which won't even cover gas for the month since we're talking about buses today. But I certainly appreciate it. I know all the students who benefit from these grants appreciate it. So thank you guys for doing the work every single year to get these grants.
Yeah, I was going to say much the same. I mean, especially when it comes to the paraprofessional, yes, Dr. Harkema helped with that, but I know that you guys really helped out in each district that is part of the co-op. We really appreciate that, the ability to be able to both attract and retain paraprofessionals is something we have all worked very hard on the last several years, and we appreciate the effort.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That'll take us to professional leaves.
The professional leave requests are submitted for the board to review and recommended for approval.
Thank you.
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kuba.
I'll support.
Thank you, Mr. Kroll. Any discussion?
Just to, again, always like to say thank you and job well done to those teachers and administrators and staff who continue to further their education through professional development. It's important to stay fresh, and they take their professions very seriously, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Erlich. That'll take us to personnel. Dr. Smith.
Yeah, these are all resignations. Amanda Koulianos, English teacher at the high school, August 6, 2024. Brett Jennings, computer science teacher, high school, August 9, 2024. Jack Bosold, Pathfinder teacher at the high school, July 18, 2024. Lisa McLean, instructional aide at Merkley, July 30, 2024. Angelica Pasquale, assistant cheer coach at the high school for the 24-25 school year. William Tarosi, credit recovery aide at the high school for the 24-25 school year. Natalie Slavin, instructional aide at Merkley, July 15, 2024. Amanda Johnson, resignation from just the math bowl at Warren Elementary, August 7, 2024. Kelly Thompson, science bowl at Warren, August 7, 2024. And Brian Blocker, music band teacher at the high school, August 16, 2024. I so recommend.
Thank you.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kroll.
Support.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Any discussion?
I do. I just want to say, I ran into Amanda Koulianos this weekend, and it was a very emotional conversation. I know her leaving the school town of Highland is a huge loss to our students. I don't think I've met a student yet who didn't go to her for counsel, refuge, advice, or just to hang out with a cool teacher. I mean, she was probably, in my opinion, one of the most popular teachers in the school. Not only was she popular with the kids and a friend to them, but she was an amazing teacher. So personally, I feel that it's a huge loss, but because I've come to know her and the rest of her family, I feel like they are family. I'm really excited for them, for their new challenges and their new adventures. I just hope Lake Central knows what a phenomenal family they have. And just so you guys all know, I told her if they ever want to come back, we'll approve it, and we'll be happy to have her back. So I spoke for everybody on that, which I usually don't do. you know, best of luck to her, to Amanda and the rest of the Kulianos family as they all make their way over to Lake Central.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That'll take us to appointments and transfers.
These are all for the 24-25 school year unless read into the minutes differently. Natalie Otoro, appointment kindergarten teacher at Southridge, August 12, 2024. Jeffrey Tarosi, appointment Pathfinder teacher at the high school. Cameron Faladi, appointment as an English teacher at the high school. Angelica Mix, appointment as an instructional aide at Johnston. Brianna Miller, appointment as a computer science teacher at the high school. Kenneth Sperry, appointment as the freshman football coach at the high school. And Angelina Otto, appointment as an assistant cheer coach at the high school. Gracie Myers, appointment as an instructional aide at Merkley. Elena Henry, appointment as instructional aide at Merkley. David Bedka, appointment as the head boys tennis coach at the high school. J.D. Fabian, appointment as the head boys basketball coach at the high school. Alex Flair, appointment as the head freshman boys basketball coach at the high school. Joseph Fabian, appointment as a volunteer boys basketball program coach at the high school. Jamie Kroll, appointment as the girls swim coach, that's an assistant swim coach at the high school. Samantha Ramos, appointment as the boys swim coach at the high school. Thomas Groen, appointment as the JV wrestling at the high school. Bill Bishop and Jim Vrabel, appointment as volunteer wrestling program for the high school. Madison Stahora, appointment as an instructional aide at Warren. Barbara Light, appointment as a dependent care aide at Southridge. Jennifer Walker, appointment as a Pathfinder aide at the high school. Mackenzie Cox, appointment as an instructional aide at Merkley. Reginald Fuller, appointment as a bus driver for the corporation, August 12, 2024. Heather Schoen, appointment as an instructional aide at Warren. Campus Cave, appointment as instructional aide at Johnston. John Litchie and Matt Bagayski, appointment as the 8th grade assistant football coaches at the middle school. Craig Rogenbuck, appointment as an 8th grade head football coach at the middle school. Don Lyles, appointment as the freshman class sponsor at the high school. Sherry Terrell Mishler, appointment as the high school media at the high school. Amelia Thurman, appointment as the music teacher and band director at the high school. Melissa Alvarez, appointment as the ELL aide at the high school. Melissa Allison, transfer from Title 1A to TRA position at Johnston. Wanda Enriquez, transfer from instructional aide to Title I paraprofessional at Johnston. Alicia Rivera, transfer from ELL aide to credit recovery at the high school. I so recommend.
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Ruba.
Support.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Any discussion?
Just one correction, to change the minutes, or in the board book rather, for Angelica Mix, the dates are 2024 school year. That should be noted to correct it, or noted to correct it to 2024, 2025.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for that typo.
Mhm.
Good catch. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I mean, I would just like to thank everyone for all, that was a long list you read to us, Dr. Smith. And to be able to look at this and see all the work that everyone in the admin team at every single school put in to get all of these people appointed or hired before the school year started, or right as we were beginning the school year. That is really, putting the best interest of the kids first, and we appreciate all of you and all the work. I also want to do a special shout out to Melissa Allison she's the new TRA at Johnston, and that role has a special place in my heart, and I hope she really enjoys it.
Ditto on that, and bus drivers, we're all good now?
We are all good on
Which
bus
is good,
drivers.
because I've seen signs everywhere for
Yeah,
bus drivers.
knock on
So
wood.
kudos
Yeah.
that we have, right now, we have all the bus drivers.
Yeah. Really, the only hiccup we were worried about, as read tonight in the minutes, we lost a band teacher, and hats off to Brian Blocker for all the time he's put in for Highland. But we scurried and we found, I think, a very good replacement. So for those people that are out there, they're concerned that kids are going to miss out on music. They will not miss out on music. We're going to continue with the same schedules and roll with marching band, and we'll continue to offer that to our students.
Awesome.
If I may.
Yes.
Dr. Smith, sorry, I almost said Mr. President. Dr. Smith, when does the new band instructor begin?
So she will start on Monday. this coming Monday, and Mr. Blocker will work through Friday.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Lobuzinski, will you do a roll call for us on this vote?
Sure. Mrs. Smith Gomez,
Aye.
Mr. Kuba,
Yes.
Mrs. Ballard, aye. Mr. Crowe,
Roll call votes for me. So I would like to approve all of the names presented with the correction that Mrs. Ballard noted, with one exception. I would like to abstain on Jamie Crowe.
okay.
I'll give you a minute to get all that.
Yeah. So I vote for them all. I abstain on Jamie Crowe.
Yes,
Great.
got it.
Thanks.
And I'll vote yes.
Yes. Mr. Darcy,
There are too many there to just abstain. I didn't want to get them on.
That sounded like the motion carried
sounded like
to
it.
me, so we'll move on. That takes us to
I don't know how you
comments.
record that one.
Yeah, comments from the audience. So if anyone from the audience would like to make some comments, you're welcome to come up to the lectern, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. Come on up.
My name's Rick Holbert, you know that. Gotta be over it. I just got to the lectern.
I can pause it for a second.
I appreciate
saying
that.
I didn't have the iPad
I thank
for
you
it.
very much. I'm Rick Holbert, 9221 Parkway Drive. I'm going to ask a rhetorical question. I am truly not looking for an answer. I'm placing this on the table, so to speak. Does the school board at this time find a need for an 8-year operating referendum in 2025? Please, I'm not looking for it. I'm simply placing it on the table. I have questions about our iLearn test results for spring 2024, but I recognize immediately I have far too little time. I'm simply indicating I will bring the question up at the next board meeting. I can't do it right now. I've got a handout right here. It's 4 pages long. I can't begin to cover the 4 pages. I'm going to take an absolute shortcut. What is the purpose? The purpose is to inform the school board of an omission. And I didn't discover the omission. This was discovered by one of the most respected individuals in the state of Indiana with regard to referendums and with regard to assessed valuations. Dr. Larry DeBoer, a retired professor at Purdue University. This is to avoid, if you bring up a referendum in the year 2025, it's something that ought to be looked at to make sure the omission does not occur again. I'm going to go straight away to page number 2. So if you would take your hand out, if you will, to go to page number 2. On page number 2, I'm not going to read the whole document. We're going to get to that second paragraph. It's the first paragraph, begins with the words. Below is another, which just assumes a higher growth rate in AV. Now we're going to go to sentence number 2. All this is highlighted in pink and in yellow. BT, which means Baker Tilly. This is not me writing. This is Professor DeBoer writing. March the 1st, 2023. Baker Tilly say they use an average annual assessed valuation growth rate of 4.31%. They mention that referendum rates tax TIF AV assessed valuation as well as net assessed valuation, but don't report the growth rate of the TIF portion. I does not mean me, Professor DeBoer. I derived the implied total AV in 2024 by dividing the referendum levy for that year by the rate, the 4.31% growth rate. That is what is in that 21-page document that was distributed by Baker Tilly, which probably did a fine job in every other area. Now remember, they mention it, but as he says here, they talk about their growth rate was too small. So I looked for a total growth rate that would produce the average. The growth rate turned out to be 6.47603%, rounded off at about 6.5. That means that an increasing share of the total AV is TIF assessed valuation, which is consistent with historic trends just about every, what am I at time?
You got 10 more seconds.
10 seconds? 10 seconds. Please read the document if you have an interest in it. It's a very informative document, not because I wrote it, because page 2 is premised on Larry
That's your time
DeBoer,
there.
not me. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can at least have
I
a
will
thank you.
make
Thank
a
you. Thank you.
quick comment
Thank you.
from the board, I believe the patron has brought up concerns about doing a referendum in 2025 that I think we all share, given that there's no elections in 2025 and that would require a special election that would be a significant challenge. So I don't know that anyone at this table really has an appetite to do a referendum in 2025. So thank you, Mr. Volbert, for providing this information on a referendum that no one has talked about except for you in 2025.
Rumors of violence are many.
Anyone else in the audience have anything they'd like to share? You've got 3 minutes. Just state your name, come up to the lectern, name and address if you'd like to share anything. Come on up. Just need your name and address, and you've got 3 minutes. I will remind real briefly that we cannot talk about individual teachers or students, so other than that, the floor is yours. State your name and address, please.
My name is Mateo Regalado, and I live in 2512 Rich Road. I'm a high school student, and I take the bus, and it's at 7 a.m. kids are smoking, and many of us have to breathe in the smoke. It's a real hassle. Everyone's coughing, everyone has to open the windows. Then during lunch, kids are smoking, and it looks like someone started a fire in the bathroom for everyone. And after school, again, we have to inhale the smoke of other kids on the bus. I think that's all. Like, I don't like it. Like, they can slowly kill themselves.
I don't like it either.
And I don't want to inhale.
So, hey, really quick, if you don't mind, Mateo, was it?
Mm-hmm.
So the kids are smoking on the bus?
Yes.
Question? Regular cigarettes, vaping, or both?
Mostly e-vapes.
E-vapes,
Okay.
mostly, thank you.
That's all.
Stick around after.
Yeah, hang around.
We got this, Mateo.
Yeah, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Students
Thank you.
forget sometimes we have cameras on buses.
And audio.
Anyone else have any comments? Or
I guess, I mean, the only follow-up that's probably worth for, not only for the crowd, Mateo, and anybody else, we do have an anonymous tip line that you can jump on at any point, that you could text message, you could email, you can call, like, so you don't have to feel like, I don't want to be the one to say something. Maybe they'll see me and they'll know I'm the one, but we don't ever want you to be in that situation where you feel like you're in an unsafe environment, either for your health reasons or for your personal safety. But bringing it up here is absolutely great. Well, that's why I want you to stick around so I can talk to you more specifically. But we absolutely have an anonymous tip line so that when it's happening, and there's a whole bunch of us administrators that are on that tip line that we respond to as quickly as possible. So, but I appreciate you bringing it up.
I should also tell me to talk to Mr. Lodge then.
We can definitely add this.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that concern up.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, then we will take comments from the school board. Ms. Gomez.
Welcome back. It's good to see the students back in the buildings. Good to see the crazy traffic before and after school until everyone figures out how everything works. On behalf of the Booster Club, which I don't know the answer about the parking spaces, but I do know that banners that we normally have downtown will be up in mid-September. And that tailgate is this Thursday. As you said, it has been rescheduled from 6 to 8 in Main Square. The other thing I want to say before I say good luck and starting the school year is that the new communications channels have been noticed and appreciated. I know a lot of parents have talked to me about how the communication has improved, already, and we're not that far into the school year. So I appreciate that, and I want to say I appreciate all of you being here. I appreciate all of our teachers and students and parents that entrust us with their children, and I hope everyone has a fantastic school year.
Thank you.
Be short and sweet, echo everything Gomez just stated. Also welcome aboard to all the new staff members. Probably the band is really a big one, because that was right at the end. So thank you, bus drivers, and thank you, Mateo, for bringing that to our, because I don't like it either. No one up here likes it. So thank you for having the courage to come up there, because it's not easy. That's all I have. Thank you.
So you guys just took everything I was gonna say, but I'll say it again anyway. Welcome back, and you guys know, as I always say, every month, I know you could be anywhere else on a Tuesday night, and we appreciate you guys all being here, smiling back at us. So thank you for that. I want to say welcome to the school town of Highland, to all of our new teachers, administrators, coaches, and staff. So happy to have them. Looking forward to an amazing school year for our first time, for our new family members, I'll say, as much as our older. So also, Mateo, it does take a lot of courage to come up here. That's bravery, and just to be able to speak in front of all these adults. But I think even more, it takes a lot of courage for you to stand up for what's right. It may not even feel like it right now, because I know you mentioned you didn't want to breathe in their smoke and stuff like that. And it may not even feel like it right at this moment, but you're actually doing those kids a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing something good for them. They don't even know the harm that they're doing to themselves. So you standing up to them, for doing it in your presence, is actually also standing up for them, to help them be healthy and be safe. So kudos to you, young man, okay? And then finally, I just want to say to you, Mr. President, thank you for clarifying about the referendum. Hopefully we can finally put that to bed, that is not a goal or mission for this school board membership here. So that's all I have.
Thank you. I too would like to welcome everybody back to the school year, and welcome the class of 2025 as they start their senior year. Lots of teachers, lots of personnel were brought in, and welcome to everybody. Wish you all the best of luck as we kick off the school year, both from a personal and a professional and an academic perspective. Would like to just give my public service reminder. A lot of kids walking to school, so anybody that's driving to school, that are driving around our schools when kids are coming in or kids are going home, be careful, slow down. There's school speed limits for a reason. There's a reason why Kennedy Avenue slows down during our school hours. And people do it, so that doesn't give anybody permission to zip around them and give them the finger, because they're actually doing the speed limit. So let's be safe, let's be smart. A lot of our elementary schools in particular have very specific traffic patterns. They have fly and go, drop off and go in front of their schools, and then they have, if you want to stick by and give everybody a hug and a kiss and a high five and wish them all a great day, that's parking on the outside. So I know that tends to get some parents frustrated off in those lines, which we don't need to build frustration. So just keep in mind the traffic patterns and how all that works in front of your respective schools. I think all of our sports teams, for the most part, are either kicking off this week or have kicked off previously. Girls are leading the charge. They've been going for at least a week or two already, girls golf. So good luck to all those sports teams. Thank you to Pat O'Haver. And he was a finalist for our Athletic Trainer of the Year, I believe, this past summer. He won for the district, but he didn't win for the nation. He got robbed, in my opinion. He got robbed. But you know what? He did receive a lot of accolades this summer, so congratulations to him.
And what's her name? Non-coaching. Another award came out of the athletic office. I forgot about that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Kathy's, yeah. What was her award again?
It's a fun title, and you're right to not remember it, because Kathy wouldn't want you to in this meeting, but it's a great title, because it's very nondescript. but she's fantastic. She's the best person of the year.
Yeah.
Greatest ever.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You're talking about,
Right.
you know what,
It's
whatever
like non-officiated
Mrs. Mailer
person or
wants,
something like that.
whatever Mrs. Mailer wants, it's well deserved
Administrator or
because she is
something,
the
so-
backbone
Yeah.
of
Sure.
keeping all
Yes.
those coaches in line
For sure
and
is,
getting
yeah.
everything done, all those I's dotted and T's
All
crossed.
those contracts and
Everything that-
officials,
yeah.
referees.
Yeah, Mrs. Mailer is phenomenal.
Physicals.
Glad
So,
you mentioned that, 'cause
kudos,
forgot.
I missed that
Yeah,
one,
I
so
forgot. I'm
kudos
glad
to
you
her
mentioned it, yeah.
for whatever that award is.
We'll find out.
Tailgate this Thursday. Thanks to the Parks Board, or Parks Department, not the Parks Board, the Parks Department for doing the setup and the tear down and the setup again. One of those many things that the Parks Department does. So look forward to that. And hopefully, I think we're supposed to have good weather, right? It's supposed to be nice and sunny and San Diego-like right now. So have fun with that and enjoy. Highland Girls Basketball is now part of I forgot to mention this, the Highland Parks Department. So they're going to have their in-house or Lincoln Center games through the Parks Department, still under the moniker of Highland Girls Basketball. So sign-ups for at least, I think both the middle school and the elementary school are going on right now. And Highland Girls Basketball is also sponsoring skills camps. I know there's some information that's going to be forthcoming on that. So if you have any girls who want to learn basketball or love basketball, that could be for them. There was so much that happened, right? From July until today, really. I appreciate all that, all the interviews, all the hiring, all of the new students that transferred in, or new students from outside of our borders that have entered the schools. There was a lot of work that a lot of people put in all summer long. So it didn't go unnoticed. There's a reason why all those kids want to come to Highland, right? We are doing a lot with what we have. And thank you to our staff, thank you to our teachers, thank you to our administrators for everything that you guys do to put Highland schools on the map. It was great to see, to come out to the kickoff for the school year with all the teachers over at Momback earlier last week, I guess it was now. Last Tuesday, a week ago, and see all the teachers and see how fired up so many of them are to come in and introduce, all the new teachers and all the new aides and paras and the excitement that each school has to embrace their own. So that's phenomenal. Really look forward to a successful school year. And it's just me, or the communications are phenomenal. So we have our tech guy out here. I know he's maintaining our websites. I know he's maintaining our Facebook presence. I don't even know how to TikTok, but we got the TikTok page, and I heard it's important. So you got to explain to me TikTok, Mateo. If you do TikTok, I don't know.
He doesn't.
But I mean, it's phenomenal. I know that we've talked about wanting to better our communications for years, and it's something that we've tried to do, but it's never been to the level that we're having with success right now. So I greatly appreciate all that's going into that. Keep it up. And Mateo, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming out. That took a lot. So it's tough to stand up for what's right. So I appreciate you being able to do that. Other than that, just again, thank you. Thank you for everybody that makes this machine run, as it's a lot of hard work. And I know our teachers, they got at the high school tonight, they've got their parent-teacher night. I unfortunately get to miss it because I'm here. Middle school tomorrow, and I think all the elementaries are done already. So thanks for all the teachers that come to that and make that happen. So appreciate all we do, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks. So a few comments I'd like to make. One, I want to make sure that our staff and teachers are hearing this clearly, that I am committed, and I believe my colleagues here are committed to take advantage and leverage every resource we have available to provide the best experience for our students and the best work environment for our staff. While I don't feel that a referendum next year is something that is something that would be beneficial for the school district or the community, I don't know what the future means. But I want to make sure, especially I'm looking right at you, Mark, that you hear very clearly that we do support our staff and our teachers, and will continue to advocate for changes at the state level. We'll continue to advocate for the needs of our team and continue to advocate for the best education we can provide for the students in our community. With that, also, I know that in future meetings, we will continue to have report outs from our building leaders and department heads. I would ask that maybe we look at having a presentation from Tech Communications and how that's going, because that has just been a phenomenal job that I've seen. And as a parent, I know we're all hearing it. We're getting a lot of positive feedback on the improved communications that the school district is providing to not just our parents, but the community as a whole, which is great. I also, Mr. Regalado, one of my favorite things about Highland is the opportunities that we have to build our skill sets. And what you showed today was your leadership ability and your comfort in public speaking. As we all said, it's not easy to stand up, it's not easy to walk over, it's not easy to say what you said, but I promise you that you are going to be a better person for it, for deciding this was the thing I am concerned about, and I'm not going to let my age, I'm not going to let my nativity keep me from speaking my mind, and I am very proud of you for doing what you did today. Continue the good work. Continue being the person that you are. I promise you that you will have a bright future if you stay on this path. I also promise you that I'm sure we all feel we'll get to the bottom of this one. So thank you so much. And to your parents for raising you to have this as your backbone. Good job. So thank you. It's the start of a school year. And we've had a lot of turnover in positions. We've had some new staff come in. I'm really excited to see the continued success that this district will continue to provide. Our graduation rates are consistently above state average. Our test rates are consistently above state average. We continue to provide an exemplary education with the resources we have available to us. And that only happens with great partnership between administration, our staff, and our teachers. So thank you to all of you for doing the work that you do day in and day out to make sure our kids are getting the resources and education they need. Having said that, our next meeting is a budget work session at 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, August 27th. I want to let the board know I will be out of town for work, so I will not be attending that. There is no actionable items. That is an information session. Following that, we have a regular meeting and public hearing at 6 p.m. Tuesday, September 17th. This is not on our agenda, but also just to note, I will be out of town also on October 15th, which is a school board meeting. So if anyone else anticipates any kind of challenges with their schedule, we may need to reschedule that one. Letting everybody know now, that's months ahead of time, so I will not be here October 15th. With that, we'll have signing of official documents, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thanks.
Second.
I'm gonna give you the first, because you were just right there, and Mr. Kroll will second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.